feel like with all of them, we just usually just start recording and get into it.
Yeah.
Bonus.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, right? It's like when you jump off the map in Mario, and then like you don't even know where you're at, but you're still collecting coins.
You do the sound?
You know, yeah. You're going
Is,
through.
is it jumping below or jumping above? Isn't it mostly jumping above?
I think it's jumping above, yeah.
Yeah. Was there any below parts in Mario?
Maybe not. You know, it's been a long.
I'm like, that's more Castlevania, right?
Yeah.
You kneel down and you're like, oh, that's the bottom area.
Oh man.
How do I get down
Well,
there?
let's not talk about Castlevania 2.
I was about to say, are we jumping straight into the Castlevania talk? Like, oh man. Now, speaking of which, like, what are you playing right now? Endcap?
I'm a little behind on the newer games. I finally finished Resident Evil 2, which
Remake?
was
the
awesome.
remake?
Yes,
It is a great remake.
That game was so badass.
Yeah, I really enjoyed. Like Resident Evil 2 was the only Resident Evil I actually really liked. I wasn't huge into the Resident Evil series, so I was pretty happy to see they remade 2. I do have some complaints about it, but before I get into that, like you talk about it.
It's a whole new game. Like I went in thinking like, oh dude, I mastered the original one. I got this. Oh dude, that game is crazy. Had me jumping. But it was awesome. Like I loved it. It was like playing a whole new game. Like,
Yeah. I really enjoyed. Did you get to play it at all, Distro? Or?
So I have it downloaded. I have not had a chance to start it.
Oh.
I told myself I was going to get myself through 1 and then play 2. You know, but then I was just like, I forget what game took my attention off of it. You know, it's there though. I hear nothing but good things about it.
Yeah, there was a few games coming out around the same time. I think I played them too. Like I went through Resident Evil 2 fairly quickly.
Was it God of War that came out around that time or no?
It might have been.
One of those games or something.
Yeah, it was one of the bigger games.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Spider-Man?
Might have been Spider-Man.
It's a good one too.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, but I hear nothing but good things about the Resident Evil 2 remake.
I mean, I actually got the. I actually played it on hardcore and got the S+ rank.
Oh, nice.
That's when that's it's good when I go through the trouble of doing that.
Yeah.
But my complaints are number 1, stabbing a zombie with your knife and then having to get it back. Like, why do you let go of the knife? And even if you stab them, why can't you grab it back while they're stunned? Like, grab it. Like, why is that not an option? You know. And then you have to wait for them to drop on the floor. It's like,
Before you
okay,
can pick it
cool.
up
Then
from
you
them.
pick it up. It's like, why?
Yeah.
Like, why did you wait so long to grab it back? I understand, part of the mechanics, I guess, but it's annoying.
It's inconvenient. Right?
Yeah, I mean, it's inconvenient, but it's also really annoying. It's also illogical, It's just like, if I stabbed some zombie in real life, I would try to get that knife back right afterwards. I'm not waiting for him to drop on the floor. It's just like pick it up and stab the next zombie coming at me.
So you're saying you would stab in and pull out, without
exactly.
letting go at all? You would just...
Yeah, well, like stab and pull out would be the most logical way of doing it.
You wouldn't be like, oh! You go with the knife,
Yeah.
Boom!
But yeah, I mean, even if you were waiting for it to get stunned, because, I can see you stab it and push it and maybe it's stunned, then you can just grab it back. Like, I mean, like stabbing and then, grabbing it back would be...
don't let go of the knife.
Yeah, would be the
You're
most
right.
logical sense. But
I hope they're listening.
because they're already...
Come on, Cap.
Because since you're already, slashing the knife, I guess that's why they don't let you do that. But at least let you grab it back right away, That's a minor complaint. My biggest complaint is actually the A/B scenarios. Have you played the original Resident Evil 2, right? You know how when let's say you play, Leon A and then Claire B, but if you play Claire A does not really play like Claire B, because there's different dialogues. You'll meet different, or you meet people at different interval in the game, and different things happen because you played Leon A, and then vice versa when you play, Claire A and you play Leon B. Leon B does not play at all like Leon A. You meet Ada at different, times. You have different conversations, different dialogue. In the Resident Evil 2 remake, other than the intro, where you start off a little bit later into the story. You start at a different part, and all the item layouts are different. But from then on, it's the exact same thing.
Yeah,
like
I
you play,
noticed that too.
Yeah, you play Leon A and you play Leon B, and
Same.
it's the exact same. The story follows the exact same thing. There's no change in dialogue. Everything's the same, and it's just like,
You're like, come on.
I can see that.
Yeah.
That wasn't a big thrill either. I was like, oh, like you feel like you're playing it again.
Exactly.
It's just like, oh, dude.
yeah. It's just different weapon layouts. You have technically different access to different weapons. Like you don't have the same weapons as you do in Leon A, but it's still
It's
like
kind of like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Most of the puzzles are still the same, and
Exactly.
it's like,
So it makes it
okay.
easier to
Yeah.
run through because it's just like, oh, it's the same.
no surprise.
Story.
Yeah.
So you play it once, you're good. Second time you notice that, you're like, okay, well,
But
just do it for the achievements at this point.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
do it for the achievements, the platinum.
Yeah, I got my revenge on that game though after I did the hardcore S plus run. I was like, man, only because I think you had to do 3 or less saves for the hardcore.
Okay.
On top of the time, I think it's 2.5 hours for if you're A scenario.
Mhm.
It has to be less than 2.5 hours and it has to be under 3 saves.
Wow.
So, still, even though you kind of know where everything is, you try to cut down your time as much as you can. And then at the same time, it's like nerve-wracking because I'm an RPG person. I want to save all the time.
Yeah.
To be like, okay, you only get 2 saves. It's like,
It's your instinct. I gotta save.
yeah. And it's like, I can't pass this save. I mean, I can get away with not saving here. And yeah.
You're right.
But yeah, then I went back and I was like, okay, I got my infinite rocket launcher. I'm going to go on assist mode and just destroy everything.
Yeah, right. And just destroy everything.
It's like, oh, liquor. Get the heck out of here. Oh, Mr. X. Oh, no. X gonna give it to me? No, I'm gonna give it to you. Pow.
yeah, right. Yeah. Nice.
Oh, yeah. And then the Gatling gun, man. Yeah, dude. I would say rocket launcher before Gatling gun. I don't know. Did you get any of that?
Yeah,
You guys
well,
get
I
any?
haven't got the Infinity ones.
Oh,
yet,
okay.
But yeah, you get them in the game.
Because the Gatling gun, you basically can infinite stun Mr. X. The only problem is that it takes a while to like fire up. So like on normal enemies, sometimes they can get to you faster. So it's like I prefer just having the rocket launcher.
Yeah.
It's just quicker.
Yeah, right. Just to the point.
Yeah.
Bam.
It's just that it has the AoE, so if they're right in front of you. But on assist mode, you're not gonna die
right.
anytime soon. But yeah.
Oh man.
So I'm sorry, you were saying you just recently beat it?
Yeah, actually, I just got that game, and I'm going to start Days Gone.
Nice.
I've been wanting to play that game for a while, and I finally picked it up. It looked cool. I remember seeing it a while back when they first announced it. It took forever to come out too.
Yeah, and I think they were really
They
working on
pushed
it.
back
Yeah.
like a few times, yeah.
That's my next game, besides Link's Awakening.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna say you're a big Legend of Zelda fan.
Yeah, I gotta get that.
So
one.
and so are you.
Oh no, yeah. So you seen like the new screenshots and stuff? It looks beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was just like,
It
oh
looks
man.
so awesome.
Link's Awakening. Do you guys know the history of Link's Awakening?
Mm-hmm. I remember playing it. It was on Game Boy, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, yeah.
Well, I mean, like the whole
Yeah.
history and the creation. Like it's the only one where Shigeru Miyamoto didn't work on.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, see that I didn't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
because
didn't know
originally I forgot who it was, but he wanted to do a lot of ideas with A Link to the Past, but Miyamoto was just like no, and it was just I know it's fine because Link to the Past was great. It's my favorite Zelda personally,
Mhm.
with Link's Awakening being very close second. But like he wanted to do something like if you were to use the arrow and the bombs together, you could shoot a bomb arrow. But Miyamoto was just like, I don't want him to not have the Master Sword in hand. But that's what you can do in Link's Awakening. You can, if you equip the bomb and the bow and arrow, you can shoot bomb arrows.
shoot 'em.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, there was just a lot of implemented ideas that they didn't use for Link's Awakening. When, I guess he stumbled onto somebody who was, like, just doing a prototype for a Game Boy game, just messing around, and eventually it just became Link's Awakening.
Wow.
Yeah, like they pitched it, and Miyamoto's like, "Oh, this looks good," and he actually became like a playtester for it. So yeah,
Okay, nice.
yeah. So Link's Awakening is really cool in that, and that's why it has a really different setting than all the other Legend of Zeldas.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's- That's pretty cool.
See, that one looks cool.
Drop
I
of
like
knowledge.
that little. I like their art style. They keep it consistent, but change it,
Yeah.
tweak it all the time. Especially reimagining like a Game Boy game. Always love those top-down Zeldas for sure
Yeah.
too. Like,
it's like
that
the classic
style,
Zelda
yeah.
style.
Classic Zelda style. It's all super cool.
I just remember playing it. I thought it was weird because back when I was playing it on the Game Boy, and I was like, "There's a lot of characters from Zelda that are from other games."
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And I was surprised to see that. I was like, and it initially it didn't like it didn't hit me right away because I saw I think what they called was it Garchomp? No, I think that's a Pokemon. No,
yeah, it's like
the Chain Chomp.
Yeah,
Chain Chomp.
Bow Wow.
Chain Chomp, yeah. And it didn't hit me right away. I'm like, this is not from Zelda.
Yeah, right. Yeah, this is not a
Is there a
Zelda.
Yoshi
It's
doll
like-
in there too?
Yeah.
Yoshi?
I think it was like 4 times that I encountered the Chain Chomp before. I'm just like, wait, this is the Mario thing. What is it doing in here?
Oh man, yeah, that's super cool. Did you play the Cadence of Hyrule game? The
Yes.
rhythm game. Yeah, that one was
Yeah,
fun.
that one was
Yeah.
tight too.
Like I didn't expect it like to be that enjoyable until like I knew I was gonna like it. I knew it was gonna be fun, but it was just like it was delightful. You know?
Yeah, dude.
Playing it was kind of just like oh yeah, like
Just pick it up like, oh cool, it's Zelda. I'll give it a shot. Like, no, it's tight.
yeah, they did a good job with the music for sure. You know, kind of incorporating that rhythm factor. You know,
Yeah.
You realize, like how awesome the music is in Zelda 2. You're just like this is really fun.
Dude. The same reason why I got the older game, that Final Fantasy theater rhythm.
Oh, they were
that
right.
one,
Yeah.
see, they're fun.
That was a
I
fun
love those
game, yeah.
music
Yeah.
too. Just playing through it. They need to make one for Chrono Trigger though. I saw what you got. Your box set of the
orchestra.
Yeah,
That's
tight.
That's super nice.
That's the one game where like I've listened on Pandora, like the mini bosses station. Whenever Chrono Trigger music comes on, it's like oh shit, it's classic.
Like, oh yeah.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite games too. That was a tight set you got.
Yeah. I got a whole bunch of Chrono Trigger crap.
You're right. No, I have a soft spot in my heart for rhythm games too. You know.
Yeah, they're fun.
Yeah. I play not all of them, but I have a good amount of the Project Diva games.
Oh yeah, see.
They're fun games. Like I played them back when the PSP had to import them, but they were fun.
That's good stuff.
Well, going back to Days Gone, have you ever played the Siphon Filter games?
Yeah, those are classics.
They reference Siphon Filter quite a bit.
Really?
Because I think it's the same developers, and I don't think a lot of people theorize that it's within the same universe. I don't know because I haven't played it, but there are references to Siphon Filters, like direct character references, even like in documents or something.
Oh, wow.
You'll have to tell me about it when you get there.
See, who's making Days Gone, or who made it rather?
I don't remember.
Like, do you know the company that made it?
I didn't know who they were, so I was just like, oh, the
So
game
say,
looks
it's not Quicksilver, is it? Or is it Quicksilver?
I don't remember, to be honest.
Huh. It's not. Is it the people that did Dead Island at all, or no?
I don't think so.
No.
Okay, no. So it would be.
Well, guess we're gonna find out. Let's take a look.
Yeah, right. And I was like, no, we're finding out. But that was a game that was on my radar too because of the mechanics that they had going on, like kind of like that engine they had for like the actual like zombie movement.
Yeah.
And how everything looked really, really kind of like it looked smooth and it looked like everything was kind of going to come at you at once.
Exactly. Yeah, it looked chaotic but smooth.
SIE Ben Studio.
That's like Ben Studio.
Part of Ben Studio is part of Sony.
No offense to Ben Studio, but who the hell are they?
They're best known for making the Siphon Filter series.
Okay, no, there we go. Yeah.
That's literally what it says. Formerly, Eidetic, I guess.
So they haven't made anything recently.
No, I guess not.
It's not is it a PS4 exclusive? Days
It's
Gone?
no, it's exclusive.
Yeah,
okay.
it is. Yeah.
It's PS4 exclusive. Yeah.
Huh.
Was there any games you were looking forward to, like recently announced, like from the Nintendo Direct or anything, or?
I haven't really looked at any of the other ones besides the Zelda game.
That's
Right.
cool.
There's the new Animal Crossing coming out.
Oh, that's right. Dude, I haven't played Animal Crossing since GameStop days, actually.
Yeah, right.
Oh.
Like, yes, I remember. Like, you told me, it's just like, oh man, like Animal
Everyone's hyped
Crossing's
for
like my
that
second
Animal
job.
Crossing.
Yeah, dude, it was a lot of work.
Everyone's hyped on that Animal Crossing. It's never been my kind of series.
You know what I'm surprised
Well,
I
I can
haven't
see
announced yet? Is a Fantasy Life 2.
Yes.
You know, I think there is one in Japan. You know, or something of the sort. But
Yeah,
like,
they
I don't
need
know
to
why they
port that
haven't
shit.
done that out here yet.
Man, you know
It's
what?
so well in America too.
What I'm hoping for is Fatal Frame 4 and 5. Well, I don't know. Technically, they don't call it 4 and 5, but technically they are though, because 4 was never released in the U.S. It was just Japan exclusive,
Wow.
or not Japan exclusive. It just never made it out of Japan. And then 5 made it digitally to U.S. And then there was like a physical edition in Europe.
Okay.
But it's like, we should get that from the Switch, you know. Then they can do 1, 2, and 3 as well.
That'd be legit.
Yeah,
that'd be
that'd
pretty
I
nice.
haven't heard Fatal Frame in a long time.
Yeah, good old
That's
Fatal
time.
Frame.
Yeah, that'd be
Oh, man,
awesome.
there's a lot of games I'm surprised they haven't brought over to at least the Switch, like Super Mario Sunshine. You know, yeah, like that'd be sweet. Just the basics, you know what I mean?
Honestly,
Classic game.
where is the Wario game?
Oh,
Like,
dude,
where,
for real,
where
yeah.
are the Wario games?
Oh,
They
those
can
micro games?
I mean, they
Those
had a
Mario
few.
Inc?
There's those
Or
ones, but
just
do you remember the actual Wario Land? Like,
Yeah, there was
Oh,
Wario
yeah.
Land.
There
yeah.
was one for GameCube that got terrible reviews, but I liked it. You know, like I actually really liked that one.
Wario World.
It was
Is that
Wario World something. It was on GameCube.
Yeah.
It was the one where it's like split. There's like 4 different worlds you have to go to, and I forget who the fuck you fight at the end. But it was pretty good. It was a pretty good game. I liked it. And then yeah, he hasn't had his own game in a while.
Yeah.
Trying to.
They could do a Wario collection. WarioWare, Smooth Moves, and all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm surprised they still haven't
Yeah,
done the
I
Metroid Prime trilogy. That's
I
what
know,
everybody
right?
wants, you know.
Yeah,
Everyone
you
wants the Metroid Prime trilogy on the Switch, you know. that'd be sweet.
I would say when it comes to collections, though, I was really, really, really excited for Mega Man Zero collection.
Oh, no, nice.
And ZX. I mean, but side story for ZX. Unless they're continuing ZX, I'm not as interested as the Zero collection. I don't know if you guys ever played that one, but that was my favorite Mega Man series. Yeah. Like the story was strong, the gameplay was good, and it got better as it progressed. With 4 being kind of like a little more divisive when it came to the gameplay, but my biggest complaint, like playing through the Mega Man X games, was that they were not consistent with the story, and that really, really, really bugged me. I'm just like, okay, end of this game kind of hinted at this, but none of that happened at all.
It didn't play out,
right? At all.
And
And he's just like, okay, well, I guess they're going a different direction. And it's like, oh, well, I guess this one's going a different direction. But they kept bringing back Zero. They kept bringing back Zero.
He was the constant. That's
yeah.
it, though, just Zero.
And, you know, I can kind of understand from Keiji Inafune's perspective, because he was supposed to be the main character of Mega Man X, but he was too different. So they had to introduce X.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess they kind of want to do a more, like, they keep wanting to bring him back. It's like, he's my dude. Like,
yeah, right?
he's
my dude.
Stop killing him off. Like, but Zero story is, I think Mega Man Zero story is like really strong. It was fairly consistent. It always kept you wanting to play it, and it was funny because Mega Man Zero 3 was supposed to be the last one, but like fans were so adamant on getting another game that they're like, okay, here's 4. By the way, this is a definitive end, and
That's it.
You can
No
tell,
more.
like, that you can't argue it, because when you get to the end, you're like, oh shoot, like you can't continue this.
This really is the end game. Like,
it's like, oh, you can't ask us to make another one because you saw how it ended.
You're right, this is done.
Yeah, but yeah, they had the import collector's edition, or I should say Japan exclusive collector's edition.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like, it comes with the Zero bust. I don't know if you've seen it. It's like a 5-inch thing, but it's like half face. It's Zero from the Zero collection and Zero from ZX. You're like,
Okay,
oh, that's
nice.
freaking sweet. Like, I don't care for busts. Like, I think busts are weird. The whole concept of having a bust is weird. But I was like, dude, that looks sick.
You're like, I'll take that bus.
Yeah. I'm like, I pre-ordered it immediately. I love the Zero series. But yeah.
Oh, nice.
Anyways, what have you been playing, Distro?
Me, I've been playing good old from Software's Sekiro Dice Twice. You know, I've been getting my ass whipped in that game, you know, recently. So it's beautiful graphics. Like, I gotta say, like, just sitting there and there's some times where I just had to put the controller down and be like, oh,
just take it
like,
in.
this looks awesome. Like, especially watching, like...
That's a little dangerous for From Software game to put the controller down.
Yeah, no, right? No, there's times where they really, like, open it up and, like, you can really just see everything, you know? Like, there was one time, like, one of the palaces was burning and, like, just seeing the fire and everything. And I'm on the Xbox One X, too, so, like, I'm just seeing it, like, on a 4K TV, you know?
Yeah.
Just, like, seeing it, like, really shine, you know? Like, yeah, they did a great job with that game. And even the gameplay, like, the whole pun is, like, Sekiro dies twice, is you have a second chance always whenever you get killed to basically come back. Like, you have a respawn option, like, right then and there. Nice. But the thing is, you lose twice as much if you die again.
Oh, damn.
You know, or, like, you basically, you know, like,
cool.
and then you get, like, a debuff on you that progresses if you keep dying, you know? So it stays true that Dark Souls kind of, like, mentality where it's, like, you want to stay alive as long as possible. And you are collecting stuff to, like, essentially build your character up, you know? Like, quote-unquote souls, you know, or whatever they call them, you know?
Yeah.
But what I loved about this one is that whole, like, mentality is, like, you're a ninja, you know, or, like, you know, and the samurais and everywhere, you know, and you're basically able to move around the map really fluently. The gameplay is really smooth.
Nice.
And I love it because, like, I know it's not the game, like, glitching out or the game being broken. It's just me just having to be better at the game. Like, whenever I die. You know,
Yeah,
like, whenever
that's
I'm pissed
always
off, I'm just like, God, like, I know what to do. I know exactly what needs to be done.
Yeah.
It's just doing it. And the game's, like, gameplay is good enough to where I know I can do it. It's just, you got to do it. You know, like, what they say, get good. You know, you're like, you literally just have to, like, play the game and, like, really get to know it, you know? But it's been really fun. It's just frustrating when I'm sitting there and it's like, do I really want to play the game and be in the same area for, like, an hour right now? And then progress, like, for maybe, like, because once I beat a boss, like, I'm like, oh, sweet, and I can smash through everything else, like, no problem, like I'm a monster. And then I'll just progress too quickly and I'll get to, like, an area where it's just like, oh, now I'm at the next boss. You know, yeah, like, oh, man, but it's super fun. It's a super fun game. Like, I like how unforgiving it is.
I just think it's funny when you're like, oh man, I just put down a controller and, you know, like, take in the scene. Like, I just imagine, oh, and then all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, ah!
Yeah, right? Yeah, something just, like, comes out of nowhere, right? Yeah.
You're like, oh, crap.
Yeah, right? No, for real, though. But there's some stuff like, especially what they do really well, like that I love about the game is they throw really big at you. Like there's this giant,
I've seen some, and I was just like, damn, really?
Yeah, there's like a giant like white snake that pops out of this cavern. You know,
that's the one I'm thinking of. Like,
you know, yeah, that was like run. You have to like there's this whole section cavern where you had to like go down and kind of hide from it. You know, and it's like basically like slithering down the cavern and shit. And I was just like, it's not a snake. Like, you know, I looked over and it pops out. I was like, and I was like, oh damn, like that is a big ass snake. And if it sees you, literally one shot kills you.
Damn.
It's kind of like, I don't know if you've played Dark Souls,
yeah,
of course, right? Now, yeah, like it's kind of like the dragon on the bridge on the very beginning of Dark Souls. You know?
Yeah.
Where you get there and you're like, what the hell? Like, how's this here? That's so strong level, you know, like ready to just destroy me.
That's the Abyss Dragon, right? I think, or something like that.
I forget. It's the red one. It's the red one where if you cut its tail, you get the sword, the Drake sword.
No,
the one that shoots fire.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
That one. No, I'm thinking. Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. That's the one where you can before they patched it, you can cheese them.
Oh yeah, you can cheese them. Yeah. So that's the thing about like this game too is you can't cheese anything really. Like it's really like I'm sure you can. You know, because I'm sure you can probably cheese it, but like it's not very like
obvious.
I don't know. It's not very obvious, and I don't feel like it'd be very fun. You know, like
yeah.
It's more for like a speed run kind of thing.
Yeah,
that's cool.
They make it to where like the fights are interactive enough to where you're like, yeah, like I said, like when you're fighting them, you're like, no, we fighting right now. It's not so much like I'm gonna cheese you real quick. Like,
yeah, no, you're all in.
You're all in, yeah. Like
I gotta get on that one. I have it. I have the collector's edition.
Yeah, because remember, like we were even saying too, like when we're playing God of War on the hardest difficulty, there was times where you felt like you just had to cheese something real quick because there was no real
fair.
like. Yeah, you know, it's just not fair. There's some times where you're just like, I just really like, there's literally no way like to do this real quick. It's like freaking, you know, like Atreus is getting picked up, like you know, or whatever his name is, you know, like the little boy is getting picked
Atreus,
up.
Yeah.
He's an Atreus, yeah, like getting picked up every 5 seconds, and you have to like shoot an arrow over there. Well, you have like these dudes coming over, so like, and the thing is, the axe doesn't throw precisely. Like, and before I think they patched it right now, but like, you know, before you used to throw the axe and it wouldn't hit in the same spot each time. It would always do like one of these things where it's just like hitting at these like random spots. So it's like, how do you demand like perfect accuracy with an axe that like, you know, like isn't accurate whatsoever? And if they want to play the whole like, oh, it's supposed to be like, you know, like accurate to like a real axe throw and stuff like that. It's like, then balance the game, you know, make the spot a little bit wider or something to give like kind of a little bit, or like, I don't know. You know, maybe like they say get good, but I felt like there was times where that game was like they just didn't dev test like the hard mode like long enough. You know, so I'm like I felt like, you know what, this is the game right here. You know, I was like, this is injustice. You know? With Sekiro, more feels like, you know what, no, like I need to literally just get better.
Like it's you as the player, like
you as the player.
I need to get to on Sekiro. I still need to beat Bloodborne.
Oh, dude,
I love Bloodborne. The only thing is that I did this thing. This is what I do. I'm sure you guys have already heard me talk about this before, but not in detail. So I sometimes do self-imposed challenges because I'm very cheap and conservative. That's really the reason why. Like I'll, you know, like for certain games, like, oh, I have these ability points, but what do I want to invest in right now? You know what? Let me wait till I get more. That way, I'll just start building like a skill tree type things. Like, okay, this path. Once I unlock more skills in terms of what I know what I'm getting, but I can't access them yet, then I'll invest in ability points. Then I get to a point where I'm like, okay, well, I'm about 6 hours in this game, I haven't upgraded yet. Let's do a no upgrade run. And so that's what I did with Bloodborne. Like, I got up as far as Ebrietis, before the DLCs was considered the hardest optional boss with no weapon upgrade. So I was streaming it, and my attacks are doing like 40 damage. And people were watching like, I think your weapon's broken. I'm like, no, it's not upgraded.
Hey, bro, I think your weapon's broken. No, I'm just poking her with a butter knife right now.
Pretty much. And I went as far as ROM without even using items. Fighting the bosses. They're like, oh, you should, I don't know, I don't remember what the term was called. Infuse your item with elements or something to do more damage. And I think I died to ROM like twice before I'm like, alright, I'll do it. And then I barely got hit my third time, and I was just like, damn, now I regret using items because now I can't say I didn't do a no item run.
Yeah, right? Yeah, no item run's like, oh, man.
But, I was at Ebrietis, and I had to take a break for something. I don't remember if I was doing a trip or if I was working on gifts or whatever. But I stopped. And it's just one of those games where I'm like, freaking, I'm on Ebrietis. I have to relearn this game at this part of the game.
Yeah, right now I know exactly what you mean, yeah. It's
You
like,
know?
yeah, it's one of those games that's super unforgiving. I just leapfrogged Bloodborne because I did the same thing. I was playing it, but I didn't do any of this no upgrade thing. I was
Yeah.
upgrading everything.
Oh yeah.
You know, yeah. But then, like, I forget what game came out that took my attention off it. And then I was thinking, I was like, should I play Bloodborne first and then go into Sekiro? I was like, no, I already have Sekiro downloaded. Like, let's just do it. Let's just play their newest, you know, like,
Their newest
latest
game.
Their latest, you know. And like, it's actually really, really fun, you know. And I like it.
Yeah.
It still has that like real like dark art style,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a lot brighter than like a Dark Souls or a Bloodborne. Because like obviously those games are dark as hell, you know. But this one's more like you're out in the daytime and you're like a field with like tiger, like cherry blossoms, you know.
Yeah.
And you're like fighting something, you know. It's like it just feels badass, you know. Like it's super cool. But still still infuses that feeling of like, you know, like there's like some darkness like overlapping, like there's doom, you know.
Yeah.
Like you already know, like Dark Souls From Software in general does a really good job of the game of making you feel like you're in kind of like an impending doom, you know. Like you don't really know exactly what you're doing, but you know there's something waiting for you that's gonna like you know
Yeah.
just you know, yeah.
It's coming.
You know-
I don't know when, but it's coming.
Since we're on the subject of From Software,
Mm-hmm.
have you guys played Metal Wolf Chaos?
I have not.
No.
You guys even know what that game is?
I have not. No.
Okay, so it was an Xbox original game. They actually did the PS. I think it might be PS4 exclusive. Metal Wolf Chaos XD, and it was Special Reserve Games that did it. You know, special. You guys know who Special Reserve is?
Special Reserve.
It's like Limited Run. Do you guys know Limited Run?
No.
So these companies basically what they do is they take digital only games and they distribute a small number of it physically.
Okay.
So people who, you know, physical collectors like me would buy those. And Special Reserves was doing their own, but they partnered with GameStop, and GameStop was also releasing them physically. But the thing about Metal Wolf Chaos is it's a From Software game, but it's nothing like the Soul series.
Mm-hmm.
It is, you are like the president of the United States that controls a mech. With like super cheesy like dialogue and
Okay.
voice acting, and almost like everything is destructible. Like,
I
and
like
it's super like campy patriotism. Yeah, you guys should look into that.
That
one.
sounds cool.
But there's impending doom. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, like-
So, yeah, definitely
That
look
sounds
into
pretty
Metal
cool.
Wolf Chaos. Yeah,
Oh,
but
man.
you know, aside from Software, you said you just beat Sekiro, or you're in the middle of that?
No,
right
I'm in
now?
the middle of it right now. Like I'm not in the middle. I'd say like the beginning, middle. Like
Okay,
I'm
you just
getting
barely
into, I'm getting
started.
into the meat.
Oh, okay.
Like I'm really, really getting in there. You know, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I've beaten I think at least 4 or 5 bosses now. So like I'm getting in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any games you're looking forward to?
Games that I'm looking forward to, like besides Link's Awakening, you know, like the obvious ones that we've talked about recently. Like trying to think what got announced that's got me really, really excited. Besides Breath of the Wild 2 as well,
See-
you know, like
Trials of Mana remake.
no, you know what games got me kind of excited? That's out of nowhere, you know, that like I saw in kind of quote unquote in development. Is that one that the creators from Assassin's Creed was making with that monkey? Where it's like Origin Mankind. Where it's
seen
like
a little bit
where
of
it's
that,
like
yeah.
where it's like you're playing as a monkey and it's like the origins of mankind
Oh, yeah,
and like
yeah,
you're
yeah,
going
I know
around
what
and
you're
it's
talking
like it's not Ubisoft because it's a different company. But I forget who's making it specifically, but it's the original creators of Assassin's Creed.
Huh.
You know, yeah, and that's always just like, huh, that looks really interesting. And you're pretty much in like the jungle trying to hide from like predators and like, you know, you're basically like evolving and it like it pushes the story like through like basically evolution, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah, I was like, it seemed really interesting. Really seemed really like a chill concept because I was talking to a lot of people. I'm kind of tired of just carrying a gun in every single game, or like saying like battle royale or
Yeah.
you know, kind of like this. Like I love my
Yeah.
RPGs too, you know what I mean? But like you know, I get my rocks off on that, you know, like all the time. It's like something that I'm genuinely like excited for. Is gonna kind of be a little different. I think that, like I forget exactly what it's called though. You know, but you play as a monkey right in the beginning.
Yeah, I know what
Yeah,
you're
they
talking
showed
about.
it at what's it called at E3 at some point. Like I think you know a while back. But that game's got me excited. Breath of
Actually,
the Wild 2's got me excited too.
you know what? We didn't get to talk to Endcap about this. Final Fantasy VII remake. I know you like Final Fantasy, like 7 specifically, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about the
that was my
remake?
gateway drug
Yeah.
to Final Fantasy games. Super pumped. Like I can't wait. Like I don't even really talk about it because I just keep all the excitement in.
Yeah.
It's just like when it comes, it comes. But yeah, dude, I can't wait for that game. It looks so awesome. It's just it's even drawing people who don't normally play. Like I heard on a past show you guys did, Cricket was like all over Final Fantasy 7. He doesn't even like Final Fantasy games. But he
Yeah,
wants
yeah.
7.
He wants that.
Like,
I
it
have a
just
few
looks
friends who are
amazing.
just like they're really down for 7 and they're not into RPGs. Like they don't like the whole turn-based thing which is weird because I've seen someone play like Slay the Spire and stuff like that, but they're just like, no, we don't really like turn-based. But Final Fantasy VII looks really interesting. But I also see purists who are just like, I don't like this action thing, and there's so many people who are on and on about that, but they didn't even look into the game.
Yeah.
Like if they talk about it at E3, they talked about it. Like people who played the demo have talked about it, and it's funny because there's this contradiction of, I don't want to, like, I'm not interested in it because it's too action oriented, but at the same time I don't want to look into it because I want to get it, and it's like, but it's, if you like, at least like look something into it so you don't have this negative perception of it right off the bat, and it's like they talked about it, and I watched people who played the demo, and they don't, it's a closed booth, so they just talk about it after they've played it, and it's very tactical, like the way they have done it. I'm just like, okay, I'm impressed because you've made this action oriented, but you can't hack and slash your way through it.
See, that's cool
because of the way that they did this whole tactical system, and abilities doing most of the damage, but you also have ATB charge, which you have to wait till it charges, so you can't just spam your best abilities. So it's a lot of that, and I'm just like, okay, that sounds good, like I'm down with that. So it's action and it's tactical, cool.
That's cool.
And I talked about how it could be 5 games. People were on me on that one. They're like, oh, you're just trying to reach. Now I'm like, no, I think it could be 5.
They could do it that way if they want
because, here's the thing. Because I talked about, Midgar only. Yeah, Midgar is a very small part of the game, but Midgar's huge. So I was like, this part 2, if you compare it to Midgar, they can still do, Fort Condor and Junon, which are huge. Gold Sarsa, which is the next biggest thing.
Yeah.
And Cosmo Canyon. And I'm just like, if they can't even do Gold Saucer, though, where the heck is, part 2 gonna get up to? You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude.
But once they get past Gold Saucer and the rest of the world, they can do the rest of the world. My only thing is that, are they gonna implement any Dirge Cerberus content? Because, and even, not even Dirge Cerberus, but there's also Crisis Core.
Yeah.
Before Crisis, which we never got. And they're talking about expanding the story. I'm like, I can see that being 5, because if you're just talking about Final Fantasy core, yeah, sure, 3 can be doable, maybe 4. But if you're talking about expanding the story and possibly implementing these other games that are part of the canon, but maybe being rewritten at this point, it's like, well, why not?
Yeah.
There might be a section where you're just playing as Zack. Might be a section where you might be playing as Sephiroth.
Yeah, you never know. They can go a lot of ways with that.
Yeah.
So which would be cool if they ventured out and did all those ways.
Yeah, only problem is how long we're waiting for it to be done.
I know, right?
The Final Fantasy VII Remake Saga. Did you find out the name of the game yet?
Oh yeah, so it's called let me see, Ancestors: The Humankind Odyssey.
Ah.
Yeah, Ancestors: The Humankind Odyssey. That one's got me pretty excited.
Cool.
But what I realized too as well is I'm really excited for that new Watch Dogs.
Oh yeah,
there is that
Legion.
Watch Dogs.
Yeah.
Forget about Watch Dogs Legion, because I was a big fan of Watch Dogs 2. The one that was in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
Like, that one was awesome. Like, that one was actually really fun. I played Watch Dogs 1 a lot too. But Watch Dogs 2 is the one that really got me like, alright, I see you, Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then especially with this one, I know they took a year to work on it. Like, they usually do like a one-offs, Like, Watch Dogs doesn't come out every year.
Yeah.
Like, they usually do every other year. But, like, this one looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Because that whole idea of, like, being able to really, like, immerse yourself in the city and be able to do a whole bunch of different stuff, build factions, like, it seems really fun.
Yeah. I definitely agree, because I was interested in the first Watch Dogs, but I never played it. I did pick it up. And then same with Watch Dogs 2, which I heard was not as good, but I still have not played it. And I was just like, I'm impressed with some things, but there are obviously limitations to what you can do just by watching people play it. But you look at Watch Dogs Legions, and you're just like, dude, you can do everything in here.
Yeah,
recruit anybody, and I'm interested, and I'm sure there's going to be, I expect there to be some sort of recycled content between trying to recruit all these other people. But at the same time, it's still pretty cool. There's that part where they showed off the grandma. I'm like, I'm sold. Like, I want an assassin grandma. Like, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, right now that one looks really cool because, like, the thing about the first one is, like, it felt like they had a good concept. The story was pretty all right, but the gameplay wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even like there wasn't a lot to do with your like real connection to with the phone and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
it just wasn't
So
executed.
like it just wasn't what they like basically promised people or like really kind of pushed,
Mm-hmm.
And so playing it, you're like, oh man, like it's like nice try, but like the online was fun. Like, they had good online modes and stuff that was fun to play, but it didn't hold the game up. And then once number 2 came out, they did everything I wanted to, where they added, like, way more weapons. Your character could do a lot more. You can actually, like, you know, do a lot more with, like, the actual hacking system. I felt like you were actually in the world. And the fact that it was the Bay Area, too, you know, like, was pretty cool because it's, like, it's refreshing.
Yeah.
It's not like everything's always, like, New York or everything's always, like, Chicago or, like,
Washington.
This stuff. Yeah, Washington. It was just like, oh, no, we're bringing it to, like, somewhere else, you know?
Yeah.
And it was a cool concept with the whole Silicon Valley thing going on. It's like, you know, they're really digging into that's where the program from the game was.
Okay,
like,
yeah, the technology.
you know, like, yeah, that's where they developed their, like, so quote unquote, like, I forget the name of the actual, like, program that they have, but that's where it was developed, was basically, you know, in the Silicon Valley. So I like the story in the second one a little bit better too, because, like, you know, it definitely had a good theme. But the same thing too is, like, you felt like they were really building towards this one, I think, because with the second one they kind of like hinted at, like, factions and stuff like that, like, hey, we're just like the Bay Area faction, but there's ones like in Chicago or New York and stuff, you know.
Kind of had this one in mind the whole time. They're just building up to it.
Yeah, they're just kind of building up to it, you know, and kind of seeing what works in each one, you know. Because there was, I do agree, like, Watch Dogs 2, like, it was good. Like, I feel like I really liked it, but I can see how a lot of people didn't really get into it, you know. Because like, there was definitely a lot of improvement, you know. But yeah, this new one looks pretty sweet. Yeah, especially when, like, I don't know, we were texting each other when we both saw it. We were like, oh shit.
Oh yeah,
we were like, this looks actually pretty good.
I was at a convention as a vendor, exhibitor, and we were just going back and forth because I had E3, actually put up E3 on my iPad to watch it. And yeah, we were texting, like, me, Distro, and Cashwrap just talking about, like, oh man, oh, you're cool. It's like, oh, what game is this? Blair Witch, what the heck? Oh, that's cool. It looks awesome, but it was totally out of left field, you know?
Yeah, I didn't think Blair Witch was, like, relevant anymore. That's pretty cool. It looks scary as
well,
hell.
the thing is, I think they released the movie in 2016.
Oh.
Yeah. It seems alright.
Okay.
Like, so far, I think reviews are, like, pretty solid 7 out of 10. So that's not bad. I was watching another friend of mine play it, and I was like, okay, I can see, like, at first I didn't see where the Blair Witch connection was because I didn't watch it from the beginning, and I was just like, this seems like just another horror game that they attach Blair Witch on it to get to sell. But when you watch it more, you're like, oh, I see why this is Blair Witch. Okay, you know. It's not a lot of obvious connections, but if you're familiar with, like, Blair Witch horror lore,
Then you'll
say
get
horror.
it. Okay.
Yeah, is it?
Blair
Yeah.
Witch lore.
I thought you were trying to say horror. You know, yeah, like,
Yeah. I think that was what I was going to say.
the Blair Witch horror.
Yeah, but but it wasn't what I meant to say. Meant to say lore, and I kind of implemented horror, but I instead said whore. So, so I combined it to a different word.
Nice.
But yeah, I don't know what's going on with the Battletoads game. Is that out yet or no?
Nothing, no.
Yeah.
I see that. So we haven't even asked you yet, Endcap. Like, how are you feeling about Kojima's latest and greatest coming out?
Oh yeah.
I like it. It looks, because I like it because I have no idea what it was about. Well, now they showed more gameplay, so you get an idea.
Yeah.
It does look like a Survivor kind of game.
Yeah.
But at first, you're just like, what the hell is this? And it has Norman Reedus, which, dude, I love Daryl from
Right,
Walking
your boy.
Dead. So I'm like,
You're a
okay,
huge Walking
he's in
Dead
it.
fan.
Hell yeah. But it looks cool. Like, it's just, I'm curious, like, what the hell is this game about?
Yeah.
That's why I want to play it.
Hideo Kojima, right?
Yeah, like, wow, dude.
It's kind of like, what was that Family Guy thing where Lois is learning from Mayor? He's like, all you have to say is 9/11 and people start cheering. You know, yeah.
It's like Kojima.
He says, all you gotta say is Kojima and people start cheering. Go out there, Hideo Kojima. Yeah. Woo!
But what about Hideo? Huh? Kojima? Ah!
Yeah. Exactly. You know, yeah. He's a fun guy to follow on Instagram too. Like, he's always into some, like, weird stuff, you know. Where he's always posting about, like, what movies he's watching and stuff like that. I'm just like, who are you? Yeah, you know. Yeah, it's cool. He's got Guillermo del Toro in the game too.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in that game, dude.
You know,
A lot
right?
of good actors.
Because those were the people that he was planning on working on with for PT, right? You
Yeah.
know? So he kind of just brought them onto his new project.
Yeah,
like,
just carried him over
Was
with
it
him.
apparently, I guess when he was working on PT to be Silent Hills, he was gonna bring in Junji Ito.
was he? Okay, nice.
I don't know whether that's true or not. I heard about Masahiro Ito.
Oh, that would have
who
been sweet.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
And I was like, if he had Masahiro Ito and Junji Ito, oh, that would have been
Yeah,
game
right?
over. That was like, that would be
For
the horror
Silent
game.
Hill, dude. No, yeah, it would have been a done deal.
that
Yeah.
would have been the horror game of forever.
Mhm.
That would be the GOAT horror game.
That would be the goat. I like that. You know? You know?
Yeah.
Well, that's true though. And it's like as far as like real horror games go, like I've been jonesing for a real good one.
Yeah,
Because
same
like
here.
for me, like things like horror's kind of changed, you know, especially in video games. Like the last game that really scared me to my core was like when I first played Dead Space. I feel like that was the last one that really got me, like where I was just like, it's not your typical horror game because it's got like a psychological element to it, you know.
Yeah.
But it was really disturbing. It got me really feeling uneasy, and it definitely like got me in a lot of places
I love
where I
the
was
Dead
just like,
Space series, man.
where I'm like, fuck, like this is really messing with me right now. Like I don't know if I want to go in this next room. Go into the next room, it's all covered in blood.
Yeah.
You see writing that says like "Help us" or something. You know? It's like, oh man, dude, like they did a really good job of setting the atmosphere and like putting you in the Ishimura, like where like you're just in that ship and you realize you're alone. You know, and like you don't know like what's going on. You know, you're being hunted, and it's like you don't even know if you're like sane because Isaac's going crazy. You know, like
freaking EA, man. What's happening with my Dead Space 4 and my Dead Space collection?
Dude, freaking well, they tore down Visceral. Like they let the match and just burned it down, man.
Which sucks. But the thing is, you know, if you look at Darksiders, like visual games pretty much was out because THQ went bankrupt. But guess what? THQ Nordic brought back Darksiders 3, and now we're continuing. Now we got Darksiders Genesis coming along the way, which I love. Like, I immediately went for that Nephilim edition, that $400 one. I'm like, take my money. I want this game to happen. I want the next game to happen. I want this series to finish. Like, and that can happen with you know, even if Visceral Games is no longer there, the people that worked on it can start their own studio or be part of another studio that can still work on it.
Get picked up.
You know, and so I was trying to explain that to some friends, and they were just like, "No, it's dead." I'm like, "It can happen, man. Come
it can
on."
try to happen, yeah. Because even it's like, what's the last game you played that really scared you, Endcap?
Jeez, it's been a while.
To where you're like, this is like a good horror game. Right
yeah,
now, you know
it's been too long to have a game like that. It's like classic games. The only ones that really scared me, like Silent Hill 2. Was like the one that stands out in my head. I was like, that one scared the hell out.
Definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah, right.
Like anything after that, they're cool thrills and stuff, but I'm jonesing for something. Scare the hell out of me. Like Resident Evil 2 was cool, but it wasn't like a horrifying scare. Like oh my god, it was more like oh shit, stuff jumped out. Yeah, exactly, jump scare.
Because what came out before it's like 2 is Evil Within's the game that came out recently, 1 and 2. But even those games like they were cool visually.
Yeah,
but they weren't really like scary games.
Yeah.
It was more of like kind of like
disturbing over here.
It was just like disturbing. Like you're just walking through a lot of blood and a lot of like stuff you kind of already expect. Not to be mean, but it's kind of like
exactly. I didn't even play part 2. I just played the first Evil Within. It was a cool game. But
like I said, it was not a bad game. Yeah,
it was just wasn't. It didn't scare me like older games did.
Like what about you, Straighthold?
Like the last horror?
Yeah, last horror game that really got you.
I think it might. I will have to probably say Dead Space 2 as well. As one of my favorite horror series, you know, I like the Fatal Frame series. I like the Silent Hill series. Up until a certain point with Silent Hill, unfortunately. A lot of people didn't like The Room. I like The Room for Silent Hill 4. Let's see. So I guess.
I hate that game. Yeah.
I love Silent Hill, but The Room just broke my heart. Sorry.
I mean, honestly, anything after 4 at least guaranteed is not great. Downpour was alright.
Homecoming was.
Homecoming was a huge disappointment. Origins was a huge disappointment. It's just like, come on, man.
I mean, it hurts selling those games sometimes.
I don't. I mean, what Outlast was.
I guess it was alright, but it was like I just like if anything, it was more so the concept than the actual like horror of the game. You know?
Yeah,
the whole idea you just don't have weapons to like really defend yourself.
Yeah,
I think Outlast. I mean, it wasn't the first game to do it, but it was the kind of just made it a little too mainstream at this point, where it's like, okay, now you have no weapon and you. I mean, I think technically, Amnesia started that, but Outlast was the one that kind of pushed it. Where now all these other indie studios are trying to make their own.
Exactly.
And
taking the idea.
I would say even before Outlast, but I think actually the biggest thing that did that was PT, to be honest.
Right. I was supposed to say, do you think we got robbed of our horror game? Like the horror game that we deserved?
It's a shame. It's a shame.
Because even playing that PT demo, that thing was pretty trippy.
Yeah.
And I was just like, all right, no, for
that
sure.
That was.
Am I
great,
in the same house? Like you're walking around, you're just like, oh
that
man.
was such a good man. Like there's so many aspects of PT that was done so well. And it's so disappointing that it didn't happen.
Even utilizing like that whole like Silent Hill system I love, just like look through the little people, you know?
Yeah.
You know, and you look through and it's just like, all right, there's something in that bathroom, but then you go around, and there's nothing in there, and you're like,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, dude.
Or just things are just a little bit different, right? And you're like, I don't want to look in there.
I mean, have you guys played Layers of Fear?
Layers of Fear, no.
Layers of Fear is all right, and the funny thing though is that Junji Ito had a manga short called Layers of Fear.
Layers of Fear, no, yeah.
But it's not related. But that was way more disturbing to me than Layers of Fear itself, and it's a manga. Like
yeah, right, no, yeah.
And I was like reading, I was like, damn, dude.
Yeah, because Junji Ito does some good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, Junji Ito does some really good things, and yeah.
Right.
Anyways.
Yeah, if we got him on a game with like Hideo Kojima, like yeah, like oh man.
You know what would be interesting? Would be Hideo Kojima, Suda51, and is it Taro Yoko that does the Nier games?
Oh, the Nier games, okay.
Yeah. And I was saying like if they named it what was it? Is it Suda Kojima Yoko Productions? They call it Sky Productions. That'd be cool. Just be like, what kind of effed up stuff are you guys gonna think of together?
Yeah, right. No, for real though. Oh man, yeah, I feel like we were robbed of our horror game.
Hell yeah.
Because who's really making horror games nowadays? Not one really. They're not really pushing them at all.
Mm-mm.
Like right now, it's like really focused on like Star Wars, Fallen Jedi Fallen Orders coming out, like real sports games,
I think the last one I could
real
think
RPGs.
of is
Yeah. That's all that's out there right now.
Nintendo's whooping ass, so they're not putting anything out like horror anytime soon. They might, but like
I mean,
you usually don't see it.
They've really kind of turned around with how they used to handle third-party games, and so Switch is really like on its way up. I mean, it's already it's already going up. Like it's really up there now. Xbox is really at the bottom at the moment.
No, for sure. Oh yeah.
But at this point where they're now like Sony is censoring stuff, or they're doing enough censoring that people don't even want Sony games, and Nintendo's like, oh, we're not gonna censor all that. Like, there's no point. And you're like, oh, Nintendo of all companies are, bringing it over the way they should be. And you're like, well, now people are onto Nintendo, and so it's like, well, maybe we might actually get Fatal Frame 4 and 5 the way, because Fatal Frame 5 had these 2 unlockable costumes that were really controversial because of how revealing they were. And so for the US and European release, they removed those costumes and gave the costumes for Samus and Zelda.
Huh.
Which are
those are very safe bets right there, what I mean? Yeah, like I see what you did there, Nintendo.
But like see, now they have this chance where they can do 4 and 5 and give the original costumes and the new ones. Because now they're like, oh yeah, we'll do it, whatever.
Yeah, they're like,
and if that does well, Fatal Frame 6.
It's like we can't have those jugs hanging out. Put her in battle armor. Yeah, I need her clothes with the helmet.
I should say Zero Suit Samus though. Zero Suit Samus.
Oh, okay. No, for sure.
But,
I don't even want to see any skin. Yeah, helmet, everything.
But yeah,
I can see that happening.
What were some recent horror games? Like I can only think of Blair Witch right now.
Yeah, there's nothing out there.
There's nothing really like coming out like besides Blair Witch. So I'm saying no one's really developing those games at the moment. But we're probably gonna see an Evil Within 3 or something. But
you know what? Actually, my most excited game from the Nintendo Direct, Deadly Premonition 2. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, the thing is, Deadly Premonition though it's so. Have you guys ever played Deadly Premonition?
I've only heard about it.
It is so quirky, like because when it's not horror, it's actually really cheesy and funny, like, and it's so weird, and the gameplay was not great. Like you would aim at something and he'd just like shake all over the place, and it wasn't. I don't think it was an actual. It wasn't by design. It was just because it wouldn't stay steady. Like the gameplay. Yeah. It was really bad, but the thing is, because it was so quirky,
it's just like this natural aiming system. It's like, no, we just didn't program that way.
Yeah, it's just not polished, And but the thing is about that game, and this is my personal opinion, when you got to the more scary parts, it was more scary because during the non-scary parts, you're like laughing and kind of enjoying everything going on, and you're just okay. Now we just got this sudden shift of following this freaking serial killer guy, and but yeah, anyone who has played it is Guinness World of Records most polarizing game because of how some reviewers were like, oh, I love this. Some reviewers were like, this is the worst game ever made. Like,
Damn.
yeah,
You're right, like, oh,
I
man.
absolutely love that Deadly Premonition.
I was
Like,
always curious about it. I seen it like in our 360 section back in the day.
yeah, they
I
when
just
they
never. took
when
the
they
leap.
announced it for the Switch, and they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna have a collector's edition. Went straight for the collector's
Oh,
edition.
you're like, I'm
man.
down.
Oh yeah, I already pre-ordered it. I
Nice.
was like, dude, I want that Deadly Premonition 2, man, because there potential in what they can do with the second one, and people have been asking, it's like, where would it go? But it can go anywhere because it was just so weird.
Yeah, right. Like, oh man.
That's cool.
FK in the coffee. People who play will understand that reference. Okay, but another
Yeah, right?
thing.
It's just like, huh,
Have you guys
huh.
ever watched Twin Peaks?
Twin
Yeah.
Peaks?
I remember
Okay,
that show.
I've
it
not
was
watched
very
Twin
Twin
Peaks.
Peaks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was very, very Twin Peaks. A lot of people who watched Twin Peaks straight said that it was almost a complete rip
Oh,
from
really?
Twin Peaks. So it's almost like a Twin Peaks game.
Oh, wow.
So if you like Twin Peaks, you might like the game.
Quirky and mysterious kind
Yeah.
of. Okay. I might give it a shot now.
But yeah, that would be the next one, I guess. Overall, not as scary as like Fatal Frame, but
Yeah, right.
Yeah, those Fatal Frame
I mean,
games
something
are
that's gonna
crazy.
make me shake my boots. Something that's gonna get me jumping. Like someone walks in my room, knocks on my door, or something. Like, oh,
Yeah. Play with all the lights up.
how
What's that?
dare you?
freaking there are
You know?
some YouTube channels you can watch that have dubbed or at least do a narration of Junji Ito like horror shorts, or like even horror stories that he's done. You can watch that, dude. Some of those are just like
I want my video game, man.
like I know video games.
I
would
want
be
my
great.
controller.
Video games would be great, but because most of these are like one shots, like the whole little horror shows they put on are like 20 to 30 minutes type of deal, and like I've put on while I'm at work, I'll put on earphones to listen to them, and like I'll have moments where it's bright in the daytime, and I don't really have anybody else working with me though, and I'm like, man, I gotta pee. I don't want to be in the bathroom by myself for too long. Like I gotta be in there, be quick. Just get me the heck out of here.
Damn.
I don't want to see nothing in the mirror. I don't want to open the door and be in a completely different place.
Yeah, right. Something.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh man.
But yeah. What were we talking about?
That's what I'm saying. No one's really making any kind of like real horror games. The real trend, like we were saying, has been like everything Nintendo's been putting out. Real like RPGs.
Yeah.
Like superhero
horror
slash
games.
the Star Wars. Has been really really popular, especially with the movies coming out and stuff. So
We got the Yakuza 7. You guys play the Yakuza series at all?
I know I've always wanted to though.
Oh, okay.
Mm-mm.
Yakuza 7 has been very divisive because they're changing it to command-based, turn-based.
It's a zombie game now.
Well, no, they have one of
The
those.
Yakuza has been infected.
They actually have a zombie game for Yakuza already. It's called
Really?
Dead Souls.
Yeah, I saw that.
In the Japan, it was called Of the Dead, and it's kind of non-canonical, but it's more of a what would happen in a zombie apocalypse type of thing. And
Yeah.
a lot of people are comparing it to that. It's like, oh, that one didn't get, when they changed the gameplay style, it didn't get as high reviews. I'm like, well, part of the reason why was because it did not play like a normal shooter, because the game was very very casual. You can't really aim. Yeah, you can aim, but the aiming's really bad. But the reason why is because it's so casual, you don't need to aim. You get this ability where it's like 30% chance of headshots just shooting regularly. So
Nice.
it's meant to just really just go around and have fun. Like
Aim to the
So-
sky, head blows up.
and like
Yeah, right.
they have for Yakuza 7, it's the main protagonist for the Yakuza series has been Kiryu Kazuma. But Kiryu's story ends in Yakuza 6. So with this one, they introduced a new character, Ichiban somebody, I forget his name. But, a lot of people are like, why is this not a spin-off? Why did you guys make turn-based for the main series game? And it's like, well, it's a perfect time to experiment. Maybe they felt they need to make a Yakuza 7 main series because it continues not the story of Kiryu, but of everything going on around, Maybe he had some kind of effect on what happened with all the other clans, all the Yakuza and stuff like that. I'm like, there's plenty of things, but a lot of people aren't giving it a chance. They're just like, I don't want turn-based. But if you've ever played the Yakuza series, it's very action RPG, in my opinion. And that's why I think it transitions so well. Because you have random battles in the original Yakuza games. You have random battles, you level up, you distribute your stocks into unlocking new abilities, different aspects of stats, things like that. So it's very RPG. And this new one, it's not. If you watch, they released an April Fool's trailer. That was the first time that they had shown this what Yakuza looked like as a turn based, and people loved it. They're like, "Oh, it looks great," and it's like, "Well, looks like we're doing well then because that's what we're gonna do." And now people are like, "Oh, I don't want that."
Yeah, right.
I thought it was a joke.
No, we were just kidding.
Yeah.
Right.
But the thing about the way it works is that if you watch it, it's not. It seems very interactive, like doing different things while enemies or your allies are different places seem to actually affect how those abilities that you choose or items that you choose will actually be implemented. So I don't know. It's hard to explain without actually watching it. If you watch it, I think it makes more sense. But yeah, I think it looks great. A lot of people then people are like talking about how well will sales do.
So as long as they give me a collector's edition with whiskey glasses again, I'm down. That had me sold for a minute, and I was like, oh man, we sold out of those quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, they people are now like their fans are like, oh, it probably won't sell as well because it's not Yakuza. I'm like, well, you gotta hold back for a minute here. Yeah. Number one, I think Persona and so on have shown that RPG fan base is pretty big. Yakuza fan base, a lot of Yakuza fans are new. To be honest, Zero is what attracted a whole bunch of new fans.
Yeah,
like a huge amount of new fans, and so while they're trying to decide whether to bring over Ishin and Kenzen, which is imports only, like they didn't release in the US, but basically they were the Yakuza games with swords because they took place in like the Meiji era and stuff like that. Cool. And they're like, oh, they're not. While you're deciding this, you decide to release an RPG games. What are you guys thinking? Like RPG game? What are you guys thinking? My Asian Tourette's are like messing with me.
Yeah, stay with us.
Yeah, and it's like, well, RPG fan base is actually bigger than Yakuza by a landslide, to be honest. And so, if they took this risk where they're like, okay, where half of the Yakuza fan bases are just not gonna be on this because they don't like RPG turn based. They want it to be a street brawler, but here's half of the Persona fan base to replace them. Which one's bigger? The freaking Persona fan base.
Yeah, there's a lot of Persona fans out there.
And when I talk to a lot of people, because I went to a Yakuza event, like last year, before they reviewed Kiwami 2. And it was actually that event when they reviewed Kiwami 2. And I met a lot of women. A lot of women were the most... There was more women by far than men when I was there for the first few hours, like lining up. And there was like, yeah, normally I play like Otomo games and Persona, but I love Yakuza. And so Yakuza 0 is my first game, and I'm just like, dude,
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
So I think it's in every sense, it still makes sense to transition. And they said that if it doesn't do as well, they'll switch back. But it's not gonna bomb so hard. I doubt it'll bomb so hard that they just won't do a Yakuza 8 or something.
Yeah.
And that seems to be a concern for some people. So.
What game would you turn into like a turn-based game? That's not a turn-based game.
That's not a turn-based game.
Imagine if they made like Ocarina of Time a turn-based game.
Oh wow,
yeah, right.
That'd be interesting.
I once had this...
Where like you walk up and as soon as you hit the enemy, it's just like dude, like almost like Pokemon, Yeah, you get back in, it's like battle music,
I had this stream years ago. This was like maybe 9 or 10 years ago. I had this stream where I was running away from Jason Voorhees. But every time he would catch up to me, I would try to like do fire magic to get away. And it was like very turn-basedy, and I was just like, I woke up, I was like, horror game as a RPG could work.
You're right.
Probably wouldn't be as effective for various reasons, but it could be fun. Just like light bits of horror. Technically, Shadow Hearts did something similar already. But.
Yeah, right. Say, what would you do, Endcap?
Damn. How would Resident Evil be as a turn-based?
As a turn-based game?
I can see it working.
I can see it working. There's a chance of them either biting you or hitting you. And you have always like
you can like change.
You always have initiative.
Magazines and special like ammunition effects. Yeah, I can see that working.
Yeah, right.
I feel like there's another game that has already done something similar in that sense.
But like a Resident Evil, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
There's this game I'm trying to remember. It was a Resident Evil game, but it was like I think a Game Boy Advance game.
Survival?
No, it's not Survival.
Gaiden?
I think it was Gaiden. They're on a boat.
I think it's Gaiden.
like Barry and Jill.
It might have been Gaiden. I think.
Was that turn based?
I don't remember.
I'm trying to remember because it's really a low quality Game Boy game.
We'll have someone in the comments being like, "Come on, you idiots! Like, we already have Resident Evil turn based.
It's like, that one. Come on, get it.
And Ocarina of Time."
I'm trying to think if it was that one that they did it on.
That sounds cool on Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, I played it
Sounds like
once.
pretty chill.
It was a really weird game. It's like, I don't know. It's not your normal Resident Evil game.
Yeah.
All right. Have you guys ever seen that parody of what Grand Theft Auto 3 would look like as like a turn-based RPG, kind of like Pokemon?
I think I've seen it.
Yeah, you know. It's funny. It's like eight ball comes up to you. It's just like, my hand's messed up, so you better drive, brother. And you get the option. It's just like yes or no. Yeah. You know. It's like awesome. It was like a totally like a top-down turn-based RPG. I was like, this is freaking cool.
That's tight.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, this is interesting. I'm a soft spot in my heart for turn-based games. You know,
Well,
a lot of people either love them or hate them. But
you know
like,
what?
You know,
I know what I'm thinking about now. When you say when we were talking about like changing magazine and stuff, it's a game that I'm currently playing now, Residence of Fate.
Oh.
It's like, well, because it's not horror,
No.
but it's all shooting. So I don't know if you ever played Residence of Fate.
I heard of it.
I'm sure, yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure you've heard of it. Sega game. And it's also turn-based, but, well, it's hard to explain how to play. Like, even when you're playing it, you're like, how the heck? This game is so weird, but it's very tactical and action at the same time. Because you can choose to just, first of all, you have a time limit when you move. Or not a time limit, but more like a... your action bar kind of starts lowering as soon as you move. So you can kind of free roam, but not indefinitely. So you can choose who to go up to and, who you should attack. And once you attack, you have a charge bar that goes around. And the closer you are, the faster that charge bar goes up. And the more the charge bar goes up, the more damage you do. And so you have an incentive of, moving to that enemy. And while the charge bar is going up, your action bar is still going down. But you can also do I forget what it's called, but it's an action where you run a certain path. And you can run almost all the way across the map if you want to. But the idea is to try to see if you can like attack these other guys along the way. And so when you initiate it, you can choose your target and the charge while you're running past them, and you can jump up if you want to while you're running the path to kind of extend your time, because it won't stop until you get to the very end. So you can jump high to kind of extend the time, and it charges more, and yeah. So it's so hard to explain without actually playing the game.
Yeah, you gotta like see it. Play yourself to.
Even people who have played the game are just like, I do not understand this. It took me a while. It took me a few battles, but I'm like, okay, I get it now. For the most part. And I need to get back on that because I still haven't finished it. So, but yeah, I was like, that's the game I was thinking of, because you can change, like, not the gun. Well, I think you can run into like with 2 guns and an item. The item could be healing or grenades, and you can switch between them between turns. So per character, there's only 3 characters. So I'm like, oh yeah, I guess it's like it would be kind of like that.
Oh man, you just have a turn-based shooter. Shoot now, miss.
That would be XCOM.
Yeah, that's I feel like that's XCOM.
Freaking XCOM.
Next enemy shoots, miss.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as long as the probabilities don't lie to you, like freaking XCOM. Oh, you have a 98% chance. Miss. F you, game.
Miss. Oh man.
You only have a 10% chance of hitting. Oh, you hit. Okay, I guess. So, the next one's 80%. Miss. What the?
Yeah, right? No, for real though. They want you to miss, man.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, they want you to miss.
Those percentages are complete lies.
They're just for show.
Yeah. Just they're false hopes.
Oh man. All these games, yeah.
Plenty of games. I was gonna say, what else did they announce at Nintendo Direct? It was Trials of Mana Remake, Deadly Premonition 2. They had that freaking awesome trailer review for Terry Bogard for Smash. I thought that was so good, dude.
Yeah, right?
All their reviews are really good. Like, I'm thinking back to when they reviewed Joker, and they made like all Persona like, and then with the Terry Bogard, they made like all SNK 16-bit or 32-bit graphics or something. I'm like, dude, that's so cool.
Yeah, right. It's like, oh man, nice.
And it's funny too. If you look at like the comments, all this back and forth between the fighting community, because like Smash players are like, oh man, you know, we're complete legit fighting game community, and then they're like, who's Terry Bogard? I'm like, are you kidding me, dude? How do you not know Terry? You're a legitimate fighter community, right? You don't know Terry Bogard?
Come on, dude.
Yeah, he's like the SNK guy. Like he represents SNK, you know?
He represents the SNK community, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, they what if they announce like Hanzo for Super Smash?
Hanzo? I don't see
Yeah.
that happening.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I don't think, I mean,
Never
they
know,
may
man.
at most do 2 characters from SNK. Like some people are getting a little too I don't know what the word for it. It's like hyped. So much hype for this news that they're like, oh man, I hope we also get like Athena and Mai. And I'm like, they're not gonna do that many SNK characters.
Yeah,
guys.
they'll give you a couple,
Like,
dude.
Yeah, like
Or
this
else
two
it's become
Sega.
a whole SNK game. They don't want to
Yeah.
do that. Give
I'm
you
like-
a taste.
I'm like, there's only 2 Sega characters, right? I think. There's what, Sonic and there's somebody else. I
Maybe
think.
Sonic and then freaking.
Or maybe I'm not thinking Sega. Maybe I'm thinking of Capcom.
Thinking Cap-
There's 2 Capcom characters. There's Mega Man and Ryu. That's probably what I'm thinking of. Yeah. So you can't expect them to release like 5 more SNK characters.
Yeah,
Like, get the heck
they
out of here,
won't.
guys. Being a little overzealous here.
Hey, man, getting ahead of themselves. Really, all they announced was some new Pokemon for Pokemon Sword and Shield, some new stuff for Luigi's Mansion 3.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You know, that one's coming out.
I know they showed off a pretty long trailer for Animal Crossing.
Yeah, for Animal Crossing, they have thing coming out. Yeah, Deadly Premonition 2.
Yeah.
Oh, they're bringing the Star Wars, old Star Wars games to
Oh,
Switch.
yeah, that's right,
The
yeah.
Jedi Outcast.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
You know, yeah, from the GameCube. And
Yeah, those are good
they're,
games.
they're going to bring the other one over too. I think like Jedi Academy. I
Yes.
think that one's coming over next, but they're bringing Jedi Outcast right now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
they're doing those games. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like there's more.
Yeah, there
There's
was
more.
there was a few more. Yeah, those are just the ones that I could pull up like immediately. You know.
Okay. Yeah. Have you guys looked into River City Girls at all?
No.
No.
So looks getting a lot of good reviews. You guys ever played River City Ransom?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I figured it's just like that. But
Yeah, yeah. It's made by the WayForward people who made Double Dragon Neon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It seems to be getting really good reviews right now. I pre-ordered the collector's edition from Limited Run. Got a whole bunch of games coming right now.
I can be down with it.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah,
It's
right?
like my chill game.
Oh, say yeah, a nice cool down game. You know.
Yeah, dude. Those games are always fun.
There's
Mhm.
Catherine. All my friends have been on Catherine, full
All
body,
right.
Oh yeah, I got those too.
Yeah, right.
including our old boss.
Yeah, I noticed that.
She mentioned that she just beat it yesterday, and she was texting me about it, and I was like, wow, you beat a game in under a week? Like you actually had that time?
Yeah,
I was
she's
surprised. I was like, damn.
She's like, no, I just played the crap out of it.
I think she only had like 4 days. She only played it through the 4 days throughout the week
Oh, wow.
No.
because mother of 2 kids and
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
a man
A lot
child.
going on. I'm a mad child.
That's the joke. We talk about her husband, man child. But yeah, I was like, oh, I'm surprised she had the time to beat it. But yeah, she beat it. But she's gonna try to get all the other endings too. So yeah, but all my friends too. It's not just her, but that's just the most recent memory because she mentioned she beat it last night, like at 2:30 a.m. And,
No, man, nice.
and like, but at the same time, all my other friends are like all on Catherine, and I'm just like, all right, man, I'll play this on my own. I have the premium edition. It's actually sitting right over there, actually.
Oh, nice.
But yeah,
cool.
Get Catherine going. Nice. That was always a good game. I remember people would always buy that game and look at Bears. I'm like, why are you Bears play Catherine, man?
Yeah, dude, it's really good.
I'd be more embarrassed playing Final Fantasy 10-2. The intro, that intro, man.
That intro though.
I played the first time I played 10-2. I was by myself in the living room, and it was actually like 1 or 2 a.m. Nobody around me, but I still felt like really embarrassed watching that damn intro.
Like, looking
I was
around,
like-
is there anyone else?
I'm like, I swear I'm not watching a Britney Spears concert. Like,
Yeah, right. Like, oh my god. Oh,
yeah,
man.
yeah. I don't know. I guess that's it, huh?
Yeah, no, we can cut it right here. You know, we can come out of the bonus episode. You know,
This is
Pop
actually
back out.
this is actually probably our
Got
longest
enough
bonus
coins.
episode.
Yeah, right. It's a good
yeah.
bonus episode.
Yeah, well, thanks again for joining us for this one, Endcap.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Yeah.